All right, so Bitcoin Maxis are now starting, to buy some Kaspa, guys. So Bitcoiners out there are now starting to be interested in Kaspa. And this is actually a good thing. I've been telling you guys this many, many times that, in the future and eventually, right, we're going to see more Bitcoiners, people that are bullish for Bitcoin. They're going to come into Casper. And that's exactly what we are slowly seeing right now. It's actually happening, guys. Bitcoiners are now slowly starting to come into Casper. They're slowly, coming into Casper. They're doing their own research on Casper, and they realize Casper, is going to be the next big thing, and they're slowly buying some Casper as well. So it pretty much makes them no longer a Bitcoin maxi because they're buying some Casper, right? So that is exactly what I want to talk about for today's video because it is actually pretty interesting, right? But before I talk about all that, of course, guys, I want to give you guys an update on Kaspa because yesterday, as we all know, man, Kaspa was absolutely skyrocketing. The entire crypto market yesterday was pumping. We saw a lot of alts pumping, including Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin was absolutely skyrocketing, reaching new highs. So the price for Kaspa today is still above 8 cents, still looking pretty good, right? We're currently at the 4-hour time frame. Obviously, it is normal to see corrections. Everything today, right, is having a little breather. Yesterday we saw, Kaspa, we saw Bitcoin, we saw Ethereum, a lot of different alts out there in the market, absolutely, skyrocketing, right? Especially Bitcoin. Yesterday Bitcoin was reaching new highs. It just kept going higher and higher and higher. Right, it just didn't stop. But today it's a little breather, right? Today, Bitcoin is taking a little breather. You have to clearly see just below 18K, its previous highs. But man, Bitcoin is still holding up very, very well. Everything's just holding very, very steadily, pretty much consolidating, right? You have to clearly see that. Same with Kaspa. Kaspa is having a slight drop. You have to clearly see that we did actually see Kaspa, reaching 9 cents, earlier this morning, right? You have to clearly see that. But right now, Kaspa is having a slight correction back down to the downside. And this is actually healthy to see, right? And it's normal to see corrections, guys. Understand that, right? Ethereum, still, right, just below $3,000. Still, looking pretty good right now for Ethereum. Yesterday, Ethereum was looking pretty good as well. But today, it is pretty much consolidating, right? You have to clearly see that. So everything right now is taking a little breather, which is, normal to see, but yeah, Kaspa is down 4% today. Like I said, this is completely normal. For the week, it is up over 12%. So overall, looking pretty good for Kaspa, in general, guys, right? It really, really is. Kaspa is now back above 8 cents. Always great to see, right? Earlier this morning, it did reach 9 cents. So yeah, in general, Kaspa is looking pretty good. You guys can clearly see we are up over 12% for the month of July. And yeah, Q3 in general, this is a great start for Q3. Looking pretty good, but I do believe we're going to see a lot of ups and downs happening in Q3 because, August and September are some pretty bearish months, for Bitcoin and crypto, right? And yeah, I'm expecting, the next upcoming few months to be, really, really volatile. We're going to see a lot of ups and downs, like I said, but in general, right, we're going to see Kaspa hold up very, very well. It's going to hold up, pretty decently because I do believe, Q4, once Q4 does start, that's when everything's going to change, and I do believe that's when Kaspa, will be skyrocketing and reaching new highs and whatnot. And understand, guys, big things are coming for Kaspa. For example, very, very soon, smart contracts are coming for Kaspa, as we all know. And once we do see smart contracts coming for Kaspa, man, it's going to change the game for Kaspa. So be prepared for that, guys. Now, this is what I wanted to talk about, guys. So this person, right over here is a Bitcoiner. And a couple of weeks ago, he wasn't talking about Kaspa, but for the past few days, he's been coming across Kaspa. He's been talking about Kaspa, right? He's been posting a lot on X about Kaspa, right? And he's slowly becoming, into Kaspa. He's, becoming a Kaspa holder, right? And you guys clearly see today, he has swapped some of his Bitcoins for Kaspa, right? So he says here, it's done, swap some Bitcoin to get to 10% allocation of Kaspa. Now I'm going to continue studying both and will likely DCA into both. But I have a comfortable starting allocation as I study. All I know is I won't have any regrets regardless of what happens. Okay, so yes, you guys clearly see he is showing us that he has swapped some of his Bitcoins, okay, for Kaspa, right? So understand, guys, Bitcoiners, right? Bitcoin maxis are now starting to come into Kaspa, okay? Like Bitcoiners are selling some of the Bitcoins to buy Kaspa. And I told you guys this, for the past few months that we will see Bitcoiners coming into Kaspa. It's simple, right? If you are bullish on Bitcoin, if you like Bitcoin, if you are bullish on Bitcoin, which, a lot of us are, right? And it's not even just, people, right? Countries, governments, institutions, okay? They are buying Bitcoin. They are bullish for Bitcoin, right? And I do believe that in the future, a lot more institutions and companies, in my opinion, right, will start looking into Kaspa. I truly do believe in that, guys, right? Long term, of course. So understand, this is very, very interesting to see, guys. Okay, now look at this. Okay, this person actually replied to this post saying, buy as much Bitcoin and Kaspa as possible. And this is true, right? This is very, very true. As I've been telling you guys many times, both Bitcoin and Kaspa, okay, both of these projects are the ones that I'm really, buying and accumulating a lot of for long term, right, down in the future. And Kaspa Silver, okay, he likes to keep it simple. Okay, so allocation, you guys clearly see, almost 95% Kaspa, and Bitcoin is 5%, right? So he has way more Kaspa than Bitcoin, right? And even some of you guys, okay, are just all in on Kaspa. You guys are like Kaspa maxis. Okay, and either way, I approve. I like this a lot, right? Because we understand how early we are for Kaspa. Kaspa is truly going to be the next big thing, right? And everyone that is buying and accumulating into Kaspa right now, I really do believe you guys will become very, very wealthy in the future, 100%. Okay, so it's great to see, right? Even David says here, I sold all my Bitcoin for Kaspa. It's time. Now, this is where I want to talk about, guys. Okay, this is what I want to talk about. Okay, because I find this pretty interesting that people out there are selling the Bitcoins to buy Kaspa. Okay, and by the way, guys, you guys can do whatever you want. Okay, I approve. It's really up to you guys. Okay, I cannot say you guys are wrong in this because I am very, very bullish on both Bitcoin and Kaspa. But you guys need to understand, personally, I would never sell even just 1% of my Bitcoin holdings for Kaspa. Okay, I would never do that, right? You guys need to understand, okay, I've been buying into Bitcoin for almost 5 years now, right? Coming up to 5 years. Okay, and ever since then, I've just haven't stopped. Ever since I started DCing into Bitcoin, I haven't stopped since, right? And ever since I came across Kaspa, I knew that Kaspa, once I did my research, I knew Kaspa was going to be the next big thing. And I was like, man, I need to accumulate as much Kaspa as I possibly can right now. It's super undervalued right now. It is dirt cheap. I need to buy Kaspa as much as I possibly can. I need to accumulate a lot of it. Not even once did I think I needed to sell some of my Bitcoins, right, to buy Kaspa. I never thought of that. I just, kept DCA into Kaspa, right? I was using fiat and transferring it into Kaspa. I was just buying, Kaspa, right? I wasn't transferring any of my Bitcoins to buy Kaspa, right? I even posted about this, okay? At the beginning of this year, okay? I said, listen, I'm going all in on Bitcoin and Kaspa. I truly do believe that Bitcoin and Kaspa are both great long-term investments. Right now, these two are my main focus for the long-term play. Okay, and understand, guys, yes, even though I haven't sold any of my Bitcoins for Kaspa, I have sold, other alts for Kaspa, right? For example, Cardano, ADA. Okay, I pretty much sold all of my Cardano, right, for Kaspa. Okay, and if you guys haven't seen that video, you should definitely check it out. Just titled, I sold all my Cardano for Kaspa. Okay, and this video was like a couple months back. And I literally did do that. I showed you guys proof in that video, right? That I did pretty much swap all of my Cardano holdings, my bags, right, for Kaspa. So if you guys haven't seen this video, you should, right? Even people out there have sold, their other alts, okay, for Kaspa. Like for example, XLM, okay, Stellar, right, for Kaspa. Okay, this YouTuber sold pretty much Stellar for Kaspa, right? You can clearly see that. So a lot of people out there are selling, not a lot of people, but some people out there are selling some alts for Kaspa. Okay, and guess what, guys? I sold, one of my Ethereum for Kaspa as well. This was a couple months back as well, right? Back in May. So yeah, in the past, I sold some of my Cardano, I sold some of my Ethereum for Kaspa, even some of my XRP, right, for Kaspa. Okay, but the one thing that I would never do is sell some of my Bitcoins for Kaspa. That's just personally me, guys, because like I said, I am both equally bullish, right, for Bitcoin and Kaspa. Equally bullish, right? I really, really am, guys. And I know a lot of you guys that, are very, very bullish for Kaspa. Maybe you guys are, Kaspa Maxis. Okay, you guys probably are watching this video right now. You guys probably are Kaspa Maxis, right? And you guys will probably disagree with me on, me, being equally bullish on both Bitcoin and Kaspa. I don't know what it is, but sometimes I read the comments, right? Let's just have a little chat here. Sometimes I read the comments, guys, okay? And some of you guys, I feel like, are very bullish for Kaspa. You guys are like Kaspa Maxis, like I said, okay? And you guys are telling me, I should sell all of my Bitcoins for Kaspa. First of all, I would never do that, okay? You guys need to understand where Bitcoin is also heading down in the future, okay? You guys need to understand that, right? Bitcoin is going to be a digital asset that's going to be worth millions of dollars. Okay, it has store value. It's a hedge against inflation. We are seeing companies, institutions, governments, countries, states adopting into Bitcoin. The adoption for Bitcoin has been going crazy lately, as we all know, right? The ETFs being going crazy, right? So understand, guys, people understand you need to hold Bitcoin for long term. And that's why, right, I would never sell any of my Bitcoins to buy Kaspa. If I need to buy more Kaspa, right, I'll just sell, more of my Ethereum for Kaspa, or more of my Solana for Kaspa, right? Things like that. Or just simply buy Kaspa with fiat, right? I would never, swap it with Bitcoin, right? And that's just personally me. Okay, if you guys want to go ahead and, swap your Bitcoins for Kaspa, go ahead and do it. Okay, a lot of you guys are already doing that. I see that, right? So I don't mind. Okay, it's really up to you guys. But all I'm saying is just personally, I would never do that. Okay, I would never sell my Bitcoins for Kaspa. I would just buy both. Okay, that's just me, right? So that is that, guys. Okay, you guys do you. So that being said, I appreciate all you guys for watching today's video. I will keep you guys up to date on what's going to be happening with Kaspa. But yeah, in general, man, it's looking pretty good right now for Kaspa. It's great to see Kaspa break out of that resistance line, okay? And yeah, I told you guys, once we do see Kaspa breaking this resistance, it's going to be shooting much, much higher. And that's exactly what Kaspa did. But obviously, okay, we did see Kaspa reaching 9 cents, and it did, drop back down below 9 cents, okay, back at 8 cents. Still, it's down like 4%, nothing too crazy, okay? It's not a huge crash, just a small correction. And it's healthy to see corrections, okay? This is completely normal. But yeah, I will keep you guys up to date on Kaspa. So far, still looking pretty good today for Kaspa. So I will keep you guys up to date. But yeah, hold strong for Kaspa, guys. Big things are coming for Kaspa. So hang in there. Okay, we're going to get through this together. And yeah, I appreciate all you guys for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up and of course subscribe. And I will catch you guys all in my next video. Have a good one, guys.